It was,
Lots
and
of
we ran all day long. It was so much running, and I was in I was barefoot, so I had trained the weeks leading up to that to run on tile
Mhm.
and bare feet so that I didn't injure myself. But nothing could have really prepared me for how much we did run that day and how many different emotions we sort of went through. It was almost like an Adobe Photoshop of feeling spectrum that Ben had us, Adam and I, kind of modulating through. And so, yeah, what you see in that finale episode is just a sliver of what we actually filmed that day.
In your chat.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Britt, for taking the time today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I gotta tell you, I love this show so much. But my goodness, that finale was insane. What was your reaction when you read like what Mark was gonna do at the end there?
It's an emotional episode for sure. There's so much going on. I think my initial reaction was that I was excited there was going to be a marching band.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Being totally honest, I was super excited that I was going to get to see Tremel Tillman dance and do extraordinary things, which is what he's always doing. Um, but the ending in particular, yeah, it's like with any good tragedy, you hope against all odds that these individuals uh, can live separate lives and everybody can get what their heart desires. But
Mhm.
we're talking about, three individuals who have, but also like eight people or more inside of those three individuals. So it's this love hexagon that's just like it's impossible to solve. And
Yeah.
so Dan Erickson, our incredible writer, you know, I think crafted it beautifully so that we all have a kind of different, I feel like everyone has a different relationship to that finale. And there's no right answer. It's just however it made you feel is um is your imprint to be had. It made me feel a lot of things, I'll say.
It was a lot. I was like, what? Because it's like the sirens are blaring, like there's so much happening, and you're like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah,
Intense. I can only imagine filming it must have been crazy too.
it was,
Lots
and
of
we ran all day long. It was so much running, and I was in I was I was barefoot, so I had trained the weeks leading up to that to run on tile
Mhm.
and bare feet so that I didn't injure myself. But nothing could have really prepared me for how much we did run that day and how many different emotions we sort of went through. It was almost like an Adobe Photoshop of feeling spectrum that Ben had us, Adam and I, kind of modulating through. And so, yeah, what you see in that finale episode is just a sliver of what we actually filmed that day. It would be
Wow.
interesting to see a full edit of all the running that we actually did,
So much running.
all
I
the
know
feelings we felt.
like, there's so many jokes about Adam running, but like you really got to just keep right up with him this time around.
Yes, I'm a better runner than Adam, okay? I'll fight to the death. I'm just
I,
kidding. He's a great runner. He's great.
I love it. I do want to ask you about essentially playing two different characters, but that are the same person. Like, how do you really craft like different nuances, but similar things? Obviously they're at the heart the same person, but they're not.
Yeah, it's I like to sort of come up with different analogies. I have a lot of them, but the sort of simplest way to describe it is that they sound like different music in my head. They have a different internal landscape. So uh I can kind of just tune into that musicality um and they just feel different to me, much like in the same way that a person behaves differently when they're home for the holidays versus when they're interviewing for a job. Those are different.
Mm-hmm.
Those are different versions of yourself. And Helly and Helena are obviously they just have different life experiences too. Helena's been raised in this high control group and has had to compose herself in so many masks. She's always, kind of on display. And Helly is just this pure instinct, kind of id energy that just doesn't care what people think, and is really connected to her like root values.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait for season 3. Have you seen any scripts yet?
I cannot disclose whether I have or not.
Ah! Well, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see where things go from here.
I'm a sense of anticipation as with everyone else, so I understand the pain.
It feels like so long between seasons, but it'll be worth it, I think.
Well,
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And congratulations on everything.
thank you. Happy holidays.
Thanks.